What's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a training system for leveling up your poker skills. Now in the previous video, I talked about how a lot of poker players are feeling overwhelmed right now and they don't know what to work on. And I then talked about how to achieve poker success, it really comes down to training skills consistently for a long period of time. If you can do that, you're on track to achieve any goal you want in poker. I talked about the 8 skills that I think are the most important for poker performance, which I'll summarize again as self-awareness, emotional regulation, focus, resilience, perspective, presence, stress mastery, and energy optimization. If you want to hear me talk deeper on these concepts and why they're important for poker performance, you can watch the previous video I uploaded a few days ago. All right, but then when it comes to actually developing these skills, what do? And most poker players, in all honesty, don't know where to start. They're doing bits here, bits there, but they haven't got a system to follow and they don't know where they're making progress and what takes the highest priority. So, to solve this problem, what I've been doing with my poker athletes is giving them in-depth assessments. All right, so if you think about sport and athletes, very often they have coaching teams which assess their level of performance and their fitness. Generally, an athlete will finish the season and they'll go through a lot of testing. What's their speed like? What's their agility like? What's their aerobic capacity? And the coaches will get a good profile of where they're currently at, and then they can schedule all the training to either double down on strengths or to fix weaknesses. All right, so all the training comes once you've got a profile of what the athlete is capable of. And the same for poker performance. There's a lot of skills, there's 8 skills I talk about. Which one should you be working on? All right, so the first thing is to assess them. All right, so I do that by an in-depth questionnaire and they get graded from 0 to 50, their current level for that skill. All right, so imagine it's focus. If you're very good at focus, you'll likely score closer to 50, maybe 30 to 40. If you're struggling with focus right now, you're probably going to score a lot lower, 20 to 30 maybe. All right, so if you assess all of your 8 skills before we do any coaching, you'll instantly go, okay, here's my strengths. These are good skills I'm good at. Here are my weaknesses. I've got a good roadmap to begin my learning journey. All right, remember, everyone's on their individual path, and so your strengths will be someone else's weaknesses, and your weaknesses will be someone else's strengths. So when you're trying to improve, you've got to have an overview of where you currently are. All right, this is a missing piece in a lot of coaching, and a lot of people trying to progress. They're trying to do a lot of things, but they don't even know what their starting point is. All right, if your focus is already at elite levels, awesome, you're probably good just leaving that for now. However, if your emotional regulation is really bad, that may be a basic skill to focus on. All right, so we take a zoomed out vision and assess the skills. That's the first part of how to create a kind of training program. The second thing we need to do is go, right, which skills we're going to work on. All right, so when I coach my poker athletes, we do it as a group, I say 10 players, and we do 1 skill per week. All right, so some of those skills will be your strengths, some of your weaknesses, but every week as a group, we focus on 1 skill. Very directional, very goal-oriented, and this is the skill we're going to work on. Now, when you work on a skill, there's 3 progressions that I like to go through, all right? And the first progression is skill knowledge. You need to understand how that skill works. Why is the skill important? What are the kind of mechanics behind the skill that make it valuable for me to work on, all right? Or how do I work on it, all right? So we need to know the knowledge behind the skill. A lot of skills you might think you know about them, but in reality, you haven't got enough knowledge to make changes in them. All right, so we need to really understand the fundamental knowledge behind it that actually allows that skill to function moving forward. All right, awesome. We've got the knowledge, ticked, done. Next, we actually need to start training that skill. All right, we need to start working on that skill and progressing it from our current level to the next level. All right, and the way I look at this is there's 3 main progressions. It's kind of beginner level, it's intermediate, and elite. And you need to be training the skill relative to your current skill level to get to the next one. All right, so example, let's say we're talking about emotional regulation and you're very bad at it. All right, you've done your assessment and you've scored yourself as a beginner in terms of you're not very established with the skill. All right, the next goal is to take a program to train you that skill to get you to intermediate. All right, we don't want to go too fast. We don't get you to the elite levels yet. We want to get you from the beginner to the intermediate. We want to take 1 step. So we need to direct the training based on your skill level. However, let's say you're already at the elite level for emotional regulation. It's one of your strengths. All right, now we don't want to waste time doing beginner training. We want to go straight into elite to fine tune that. All right, so we need to do training relative to our current skill level. All right, if we're elite, more elite training. If we're beginner, we want training to get to intermediate and intermediate to elite. All right, so it's really important to do training relative to your skill level to take you to that next progression. All right, so specific training. This is where I spend a lot of my time coaching, teaching the training mechanisms to actually work on the skill. All right, remember, it's all about training skills consistently for prolonged periods of time. And then finally, the final progression. So we've got the knowledge of the skill, we've got the training of the skill. The final attribute is performing using the skill. All right, in all honesty, that's all that matters. All right, can you play poker at the high level and perform well using that skill? If it's emotional regulation, can you stay in control of your emotions, calibrate your emotional responses in game whilst experiencing bad beats? If not, okay, awesome, back to training, let's keep working on it. Are you able to keep your focus? 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 every session? No? Okay, awesome, back to training. All right, so the whole progression is, can we understand how the skill works, the knowledge? Can we do specific training to improve that skill? And then can we perform using that skill? All right, and if we create a system for this, which I do for each of the 8 skills, we can make ridiculous progress in short space of time because we're very specific, we're very goal oriented, and we're following a system that gets us results. Then the final piece comes with reassessing your skills. All right, so we do this at the end of each training program for each skill. My poker athletes take a new assessment, and now they can see, has the knowledge I gained, the training I've been doing, and the skill performance I've been using been beneficial? Has it been worth my time? Have I made progress in this area? And watching this happen with 50 players now with 8 different skills over my training programs, I've seen almost all players, when they direct their attention to it, they do the training programs, they see massive improvements in their skills in a short space of time. All right, so now what happens is, as you're progressing, you're working on one skill. Imagine you've got like a weakness, you get that weakness up to a good level, you then get another skill, get it up to a new level, and as you're progressing through your kind of training, you start to realize, where's my next focus? What skills should I be working on now? And rather than working on 8 skills at a time, or even more for some people, just one at a time. What's the next skill I need to work on? All right, and it's amazing once you create a system of assessing your current level, you understand how the skill works with knowledge, you train the skill, you perform using the skill, and you evaluate it, you've now got this roadmap for optimal performance. And anytime you're stuck, you come back to your assessments and you go, what's my current skill levels? Where do I need to improve? There's the area I need to improve. Awesome, I'll work on it. So that's what I call the poker athlete coaching system. We're assessing skills like an athlete, we're training skills like an athlete in order to optimize performance at the poker tables. Now in the next video, I'll be showing you how this system works in action with real poker players, and I'll be showing you how they've been able to level up their skills in a short space of time and the results they've been able to get by doing this. All right, so we're gonna make it very practical, sharing examples, and you'll be able to relate to other players who are using this system. All right, guys, thanks for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.